season here in DeKalb, Illinois. Sunny and 70 on this Saturday for an FCS-FBS matchup between the Crusaders and the Huskies. It's Holy Cross taking on Northern Illinois in a Week 1 matchup. Up in the booth alongside Ryan Kavanaugh, I'm Kelsey Casper. Well, Holy Cross has been a great FCS program, winning their 6th straight Patriot League title this past year, but it was also a memorable season for Northern Illinois. The highlight being their Week 2 upset over Notre Dame.
These are two football programs that are accustomed to winning games, and I believe this will be one of the best FBS versus FCS matchups we get in Week 1.
Well, for Northern Illinois last year, there were a lot of highs. It ended with a bowl season victory, but this year, it is a whole new squad. 48 newcomers to this roster. One of their returners, however, it's their starting quarterback in Josh Holst.
And he brings some big game experience. He played in 7 games last year. He's a terrific athlete, and he's a true dual threat. That word gets thrown around, but he can run and he can throw. He's most dangerous when he innovates when he gets outside the pocket. And across the sideline, Holy Cross has Cale Swanson, who has a very similar skill set. We've heard all week he can make all the throws, one of the fastest players on the offense. The difference between the two quarterbacks is Swanson transfers in from Illinois, where he did not play for 2 years. So this will be his first live action in a football game in 3 years.
Well, this coaching staff has a lot of confidence in their quarterback, who'll be playing in his first college football game this season, as we get a look at the two head coaches going against each other today for Holy Cross. Dan Curran in his 2nd season leading this squad. He spent 11 seasons at Merrimack, where he was the winningest coach in program history, but going up against Hammock in his 7th season at his alma mater. Both of these two head coaches, Ryan, so passionate about the programs that they're leading.
And they've done it on the field. Both of these, and Thomas Hammock, of course, at Northern Illinois, but both of these coaches were not only college running backs, but they played in the NFL as running backs. So it gives you a little bit more juice when you talk to the kids for them to listen to you, because they know these guys have been in the trenches, they've put in the work, and they've played at the highest level. And
they're ready to play here. Getting ready to kick off is Holy Cross. Northern Illinois will receive to start this game. Owen Sarceno off to kick it, and we are underway at about the 7-yard line. George Demopoulos rolling past the 25 and taken down at about the 27-yard line, and that is where the offense will start for the Huskies, and we'll get the first look at Josh Holt and this offense.
Pretty good blocking here, bounces it to the outside. And Holy Cross, look, you see the number of white helmets getting to the football. They're going to pursue. One of the main tenets of a Dan Curran football team is we are going to play intense, and we're going to do it on every single play. And the kickoff team showed it there.
Josh Holst played in 7 games last season with 3 starts, including in their bowl game victory against Fresno State. He gets the start here in Week 1. Flush to the right side. He's going to take it. We knew he was going to use his feet, and we see it on the first play.
He made me look good there, calling him a dual threat quarterback who can, when he breaks, contain. But when you're a defense and you have an athlete and a runner at quarterback like Josh Holst, it can completely change your defensive game plan, because you have to account for the edges and keeping them contained.
You see his stats from last season: threw for 593 yards with 2 touchdowns. Telly Johnson Jr., the running back, lining up to his left side. He'll get the handoff, and he gains about 2 yards on the play. Telly Johnson Jr., now the lead running back for Northern Illinois after losing Ontario Brown and Gavin Williams last season. 2 big names on this Northern Illinois team.
Yeah, well, they got most of the carries last year. A lot of the talk was about the potential and how good Telly Johnson would be, and now he has the opportunity to show that.
So 3rd down here for this Husky offense. Holst, quick pass to the left side. Reaching for the first down. Diari Rogers, complete pass for Northern Illinois.
Really like that play. They brought Rogers in motion. Holst throws it to him in front of his body, and look at the wide receivers blocking on the edge. And because of those wide receivers doing the dirty work, Rogers is able to get the first down yardage.
And the opening drive stays alive for Northern Illinois. Holst with plenty of time. Still looking, he's scrambling, and he'll throw it out of bounds. But his offensive line giving him plenty of time to make a decision.
Coach Thomas Hammock this week talked about his offensive line specifically with the number of people, as you mentioned, that are no longer with their program through graduation. And they had a very experienced offensive line last year, but he said, we have the skill players to be as good as anybody. We have to see how quickly and how well my offensive line gels. They get an A+ for pass blocking on that play, Kelsey.
And an early flag comes in. Looks like it's going to be a false start on the offense.
Snap infraction. Offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So a snap infraction for Northern Illinois as we get the call from the referee Marcel Kerr. So still second down here for the Huskies. In the early goings of their week 1 matchup against Holy Cross. Quick throw again, connecting with Rogers. Made a man miss, but gets about back to the initial line of scrimmage for third down.
Getting Rogers the ball early, trying to get him and his speed involved in the game. Also getting the wide receivers involved in the game. They had 2, again, blocking Crusaders on the edge. Nice job by Holy Cross to get off the blocks and bring Rogers down.
Third down again for Northern Illinois. Holst will take it with his feet to the right side, but he is taken down.
Kelsey, when you are blocking for a quarterback that likes to scramble, look at how clean this pocket is. And Holst runs out of it, and I believe it's Carlo Crosetti, who was being blocked by the right tackle, but because Holst evaded the pocket, Crosetti was able to make the play well short of the first down yardage. But if Holst just hung in the pocket, his offensive line was doing a great job of protecting him again.
That was Crosetti in on the tackle, and NIU is going to have to punt it. Max Mosey back to receive for Holy Cross. They're going to let this one bounce inside the 10-yard line. Great punt for Northern Illinois. It's going to be tough field position for Holy Cross. We'll see this Crusaders offense when we come back. Well, after a Northern Illinois punt, we get our first look at Dan Curran and this Holy Cross offense. Curran in his second season leading this Holy Cross program. He came from Merrimack, where he spent 11 seasons. In his first year as head coach of the Crusaders, came home with the Patriot League title.
Yeah, actually he's the all-time winningest coach in Merrimack history. He was an All-American at New Hampshire. He's in his high school's Hall of Fame. Played 8 years of professional football, Seahawks in New Orleans, Saints in the NFL, and played for the Georgia Force and the New Orleans Voodoo in the Arena League. So this guy has played it and coached it at a lot of different levels.
And we'll see how he coaches this new quarterback, Cal Swanson, the transfer from Illinois, getting his first reps of college football. Hands it off to his running back, to Jaden Clairvaux, a captain on this Holy Cross team. Their offensive coordinator, Andrew Dressner, calls him a tank, 5'11", 220 pounds.
Yeah, he's a good-looking running back, is Clairvaux. This is going to be one of the most important matchups of the game, and it's the defensive line of Northern Illinois, who are very, very good, and this very impressive offensive line of Holy Cross.
Well, this Northern Illinois defense just a season ago was 4th in the nation in total defense, 5th in the nation in passing defense. Swanson fakes the handoff, going to the outside and just shy of a first down as he is knocked out of bounds. We said in the open, he is one of the fastest players on this offense.
Yeah, he gave him top 3, and he tries to avoid here. That's a nice play on the edge by Dante Harrison to string it out, and I think if Swanson put his foot in the ground and dove forward, he would have had first down yardage. But he was trying to get to the sideline and get upfield.
Well, it's an early third down here for Holy Cross. Swanson under center. Hands it off. And it looks like they get the first down out of it. Clairvaux is the ball carrier, and he moves the chains on the opening drive for Holy Cross.
We're behind left guard Liam Lynch and the center Sean Woods. They got a great push. And you talked about the tank, the size of Clairvaux, leaning forward just enough to move the chains.
That's Cam Slade now in the game. Fakes the handoff. Swanson pressured. And he'll take it himself down the near sideline. Gaining about 6 on the play.
I made the similar comments about Holst of having to defend 53 1/3 against the quarterback, because right when it looks like he's in trouble and now you put a cornerback in space, do I keep covering Max Mosey or do I come up on Cal Swanson? You're keeping everybody on the field with their eyes on the quarterbacks for both of these teams because of their ability to create plays with their feet.
First pass complete. And taken out of bounds. That's completed to Joseph Williams, freshman running back out of Maryland.
It goes by JoJo, and you mentioned the speed of Swanson. He's in the top 4 as well. Really nice read by Swanson. Northern Illinois brought the corner, and he was patient enough to throw the football around him to JoJo Williams for a nice gain.
Crusaders making their way closer to midfield here in DeKalb for week 1. Off to Sam Slade. He's taken down at about the 35-yard line. This Northern Illinois defense, under the direction of new defensive coordinator Rob Harley, coming from Arkansas State, inheriting what was already a dominant defense like we mentioned from last season. Now Thomas Hammock is looking for him to just improve upon that. So 2nd and 10 for the Crusaders. Swanson pressured, quick pass, and just taken down by Muhammad Jameh.
They're trying to get it to wide. Well, they got it to wide receiver Max Mosey. The problem is Jamey was on him the entire time. Look at him in trail coverage. Pass is there, and Jamey is there as soon as Mosey catches the football.
Third down. Swanson pressured, still on his feet, but pass is incomplete. Good defensive pressure from Northern Illinois. And it's fourth down for the Crusaders.
Northern Illinois has two Williams, Roy Williams and Jelani Williams, and they're the defensive ends, and they can create havoc. And that time it was Roy Williams that was able to get a hand on Cal Swanson. Excellent coverage by Jacob Finley as well.
So Holy Cross will also punt on their opening drive. Ethan Moss back for the Crusaders. Diari Rogers receiving for Northern Illinois. Calling for the fair catch inside the 35-yard line. Well, both teams scoreless here in the early goings of this Week 1 matchup between Holy Cross and Northern Illinois. Husky fans enjoying some football, enjoying the nice weather we have in DeKalb, Illinois for Week 1 of college football. Getting a look at head coach Thomas Hammock's 7th season as a coach of his alma mater. Was a running back here, also played in the NFL, but now back as head coach. He has really left an imprint on this program.
Coach Hammock has a deep love not only for this program, but DeKalb, Illinois. And I always love it, his motto, hashtag the hard way, because he never wants his players to take an easy route. And the hard way means you earn everything that you get.
Well, here's our second look at Josh Holst and this offense, and Claire Vo is just eaten up. That was Lathan Crowley on the tackle for the Crusaders.
Look at the speed of Crowley to read it, and he jumps right in between left guard and center. And an excellent form tackle.
Excuse me, that was Johnson on the carry. Here's Holst. Quick pass, dumped off, but hit hard again. This defense from Holy Cross coming out in here in the second possession.
They went two backs, and they swung out Jalen Poe. And as soon as he catches it, there's a gentleman named Eli Thompson waiting for him. This is a really nice job, Holst. I don't know if he could have put a little more zip on this, but either way, Eli Thompson was there.
To the far side again, it's Poe. He's got a first down. Tackled at the 46-yard line.
They got Jalen Poe in a bunch set. This time getting the ball again. 2 consecutive catches for Jalen Poe. This one, certainly more of what Poe was looking for. Got some open space, moved the chains.
Poe and Wright next to Holst. Javon Wright will get it. He's got a hole up the middle. Inside the 30 is Wright, and he's finally taken down at the 15-yard line. A massive run for Javon Wright, the transfer from Charleston.
Look at the offensive line getting body on body. Javon Wright stepping out of several tackles in a burst down the middle of the field. Northern Illinois in the red zone.
45 yards for the 5th-year senior. Again, the handoff to Wright takes it to about the 5-yard line. Javon Wright followed his offensive coordinator, Quinn Sanders, to DeKalb. And Wright was one of the best, not just running backs, but best players in all of Division II last year. He came in 2nd in the race for D2 National Player of the Year.
That's the Harlan Hill Trophy. It's their version of the Heisman. A lot of good football in Division II.
Second and 5 in the red zone for Northern Illinois. There was 2 seconds left on the clock, and Thomas Hammock is going to have to call a timeout.
Timeout, Northern Illinois. Their first charge timeout of the first half. This would be a 13-second timeout.
What was interesting, Kelsey, is they brought in 2 tight ends, Jake Applegate and Pierce Opong, and they started on the right, then they went to the left, then they came back to the right of the formation, and then Thomas Hammock said, we got to get this play off, take a timeout. You never want to lose 5 yards for a delay a game when you're that close to the end zone.
Well, Northern Illinois started their season with a win over Western Illinois before heading to South Bend for one of the biggest wins of the entire college football season last year. Let's get another look at it. An insane scene in South Bend. The game-winning field goal, 16-14, the final score. And this game had everyone talking.
Well, Coach Curran was talking about it this week and said that wasn't a lucky game. They didn't get lucky. They didn't use gimmick plays. They beat Notre Dame. And I'll come back to that after this very important second down play, Kelsey.
Yeah, in the red zone at the 5-yard line. Holst drops back, cutting across the middle of the field, but goes incomplete. That was George Demopoulos looking for the pass. Third down.
They again went to the 2 tight end package. Both choice routes in the end zone with Opong and Applegate, and they brought Demopoulos across the formation. Holst was a little inaccurate, too far ahead of Demopoulos.
Holst, little pass to Johnson Jr., who gets tripped up. Eli Thompson preventing a touchdown.
Tell you what, I know it's only in the first quarter, but I don't think I want to run towards Eli Thompson. He's a cornerback, 5'10", 185 pounds, and he comes up and hits.
So big defensive stop for the Crusaders. Forces NIU to bring out the kicking team. Here's Andrew Glass attempting a 21-yard field goal to put the Huskies on the board here first in week 1. And that is up through the uprights. The kick is good for Andrew Glass, and the Huskies are on the board here in week 1. They have a 3-0 lead over Holy Cross. NIU with the 3-0 early lead with 4 minutes to go in the first quarter over the Crusaders from Worcester, Massachusetts. And this is the motto for Dan Curran's team. It is Satyr tough. They find a way. And as you can see, written on the back of their warm-up t-shirts, they truly embody, similar to the hard way that Northern Illinois plays with. But I like what Coach said to us earlier this week. They like more substance than style.
He mentioned numerous times, and it was actually a common thread on both coaches' calls, how similar he thinks his coaching, his team, and his attitude is to Coach Hammock and NIU.
Inside the 10, the return from Elijah Kaysen. Taken to about the 33-yard line. So that is where this Holy Cross offense will set up shop for their second drive. Early impressions so far from Cal Swanson. He's been able to use his legs a little bit, looking to get this offense in a bit more flow, though, early.
Yeah, I think he's doing a great job. He looks accurate with the football. He's running at the right times. He's not forcing one or the other. And they've been able to move the ball with Northern Illinois, just not with the success or the big chunk play that Northern Illinois had.
And that pass batted away. Jelani Williams gets a hand on it. And we knew Holy Cross had those two guys circled. Williams on one side, Jelani Williams on the other.
Yeah, I've got news for everybody on the schedule for Northern Illinois. Those two guys will be circled by their opponents and offensive coordinators all year long. Those are Sunday football players at some point in their career. Those are NFL guys.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Swanson again using his hand. Charlie Mullally. Pass caught for a first down as Holy Cross it's close to midfield at about the 44-yard line.
You just asked me about Cal Swanson, and that was a perfect example. A post route right on the money, right where his receiver wants it, and they move the chains. Remember, he hasn't played a football game against another team in 3 years.
Yeah, talking with their offensive coordinator, Dressner, he said he's been wearing a red jersey for a long time. It's been a while since he's been hit in a game action as he runs this one himself for about a gain of 5 yards.
I'll tell you what, as a former quarterback, Kelsey, I always loved my helmet. You know, I loved the cleats, I love nothing more than the red jersey. That was my favorite part of practice, was putting the red jersey on, because it made me feel safe from guys like Roy Williams and Jelani Williams. I'm not afraid to admit it either.
2nd and 5 for this offense. 3 receivers line up on the near side as Swanson winds up and it's picked off. Intercepted by Muhammad Jameh, the 5th-year senior out of Detroit.
The ball sailed on Swanson a little bit and was deflected off his receiver's hands and into the air, and that's one of the issues when you're throwing the football. That's Nathan Schligner, the tight end, but when you throw crossing routes over the middle and you miss high or it's deflected, there's often a safety behind them who can make the interception off the tip, and Jameh did a great job of coming up and securing the football.
Well, that was one of the keys to this Northern Illinois defense from their coordinator, Rob Harley, to get takebacks. He doesn't call them turnovers or takeaways. He calls them takebacks. As we see this Crusader defense all over Josh Holst, the quarterback, and again, it's Eli Thompson. We said his name a few times already.
That's his 3rd tackle in the first quarter, and they've all been highlight-level plays. Coming up in the open field to bring down Holst is not an easy thing to do, and Eli Thompson made it look routine.
Well, 2nd and 13 for the Huskies in red. Holst drops back, pressured, throws it downfield. He's got a man open. Pass caught by Diari Rogers. His 3rd reception of the game.
There is a lot of action going on at the line of scrimmage on these pass plays, and Holy Cross kept working, pressured Holst, but Holst keeps his eyes downfield and makes a difficult cross his body throw, and Diari Rogers makes the catch.
And that catch will move the chains. It's a first down for Northern Illinois. Now at their own 44-yard line. Jalen Poe in motion. Holst out of the pocket, takes it to about the 47-yard line. That'll bring up second down.
Josh Holst is getting all the pass protection he wants, and almost every time he runs, it's not because he's being pressured, it's he's making that decision to pull it down. That time, I mean, he could make lunch. He could make a meal back there. His offensive line's giving him so much time.
6 guys on the line. Here's a pass to Poe on the near side. Pass midfield. That'll bring up third down.
Jalen Poe, a real receiving threat, and we've seen that early. Part of the offense for Coach Hammock. He said he's got a really deep, collectively maybe the best group of backs he's had because of the depth, and you see that Poe brings a different element with the receiving.
Clock winding down here in the first quarter. Poe will get the handoff, and it's just about right at the sticks. We'll wait to see a call here if it is a first down. And it looks like it's going to bring up fourth down for this NIU offense as the clock winds down on the first quarter. Well, field goal from Andrew Glass puts Northern Illinois up 3-0 over Holy Cross in the early goings of this FCS-FBS matchup here in Week 1 at DeKalb. It is a 3-0 lead for Northern Illinois after the first quarter. Against Holy Cross, the Huskies picked to finish 5th in the preseason MAC poll. The last season, Northern Illinois will participate in the Mid-American Conference before moving to the Mountain West next season. A lot of these teams have already played so far this week, but 5th is where the Huskies stand right here, right now.
Big 4th down.
They're going for it, and they got it. Javon Wright on the carry, pushing his way for a Husky first down.
Javon Wright, he's only 5'8", but he's 212 pounds. And you look at that leg drive from Wright, because he was caught about 2 yards behind the sticks, and he pushed his way for a first down.
Well, Javon Wright had that big 45-yard rush that ended with an NIU field goal. Here's Telly Johnson Jr. not going far, eaten up by this Crusader defense.
You see Vin Ferrara, Bryce Stevenson coming up front and making a nice play. That's an excellent job coming off the defensive line by Stevenson.
Stevenson, the junior, who has started since his freshman season. 2nd and 12. Holst flushed. Will throw it away. He's pushed down late, but no flag on the field.
On his helmet's off.
Number 15 for Illinois.
So with his helmet off, did another player have to come in?
Without a foul.
You take a look there. Yeah, because his helmet came off without a foul. So we should see Jackson Proctor in the game.
So Holst has to sit out a play, and here is Jackson Proctor, the redshirt junior, backup quarterback for Northern Illinois. He's thrust in through a 3rd and 12 situation. This is a big drive right here, finally in Holy Cross territory, and a long 3rd down for the backup quarterback.
This is what you prepare for.
Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 13 minutes and 47 seconds. 13:47.
Jalen Macon was a quarterback who was in heavy competition with Josh Holst for the starting job, and we weren't sure if he was going to be able to play today. But we might have got our answer because Proctor's in the game.
Here we go, big moment for the backup QB. The handoff to Johnson, still on his feet. We'll gain about 5 on the play, but it's not going to be enough. That'll bring up 4th down for NIU.
Nice play by
number 20 for the defense. Must sit one play because his helmet came off without a foul.
I was just going to mention Garrett Baldwin. Nice tackle, but his helmet came off. Now that won't affect them nearly as much because it's going to be the punt return unit. But Cam Santee, their middle linebacker, and Baldwin came up and shut him down just when it looked like the running back might have had some daylight.
Another punt for NIU. Max Mosey back to receive. Vukovic with the punt. And this one is gonna roll to about the 2-yard line. 2 great punts for the Huskies. And again, tough field position for Holy Cross when we come back. Holy Cross looking to get on the board here to start the second quarter. Taking a look at the Patriot League preseason poll. Holy Cross picked to finish third behind Lehigh, a new addition to the conference in Richmond. But Holy Cross with 6 consecutive Patriot League titles, 12 overall. And Dan Curran, in just his first year, led this team to a conference championship. But after a great punt from Northern Illinois, it's tough field position for Cal Swanson in this Crusader offense. Backed up into the Huskies end zone. They hand it off to Claire Vaux. It's a few yards out of it. Cal Swanson on their last drive threw an interception. It was picked off by Muhammad Jameh. So they're still looking to find their flow here in the second quarter.
I always say, Kelsey, when you get into the red zone, especially this close, the closer you get to the goal line, the more your playbook shrinks, whether you're coming out of it or going into the end zone. And you can see right now Holy Cross being very careful with what they call, not only to avoid a safety, but try to get themselves out of the end zone.
Swanson will take it the opposite way. He's got a hole upfield past the 30-yard line and finally taken out of bounds. Cal Swanson, the sophomore QB, with a huge run to move the sticks for Holy Cross.
Zone read. Swanson shows the football, pulls it down, hits a seam, and shows off that game-breaking speed we heard about all week. We're seeing it live, and I can tell you, nobody lied to us about the speed of Cal Swanson, because he was one player away from a 98-yard touchdown run.
With that run, 33 yards downfield. Crusaders now at the 36-yard line. Probably a relief for Swanson here. He can take a breath and let his offense go to work. But Mark Hensley wraps up the running back for Holy Cross.
It's the second time in 3 plays that Mark Hensley has beaten his man and made an impact. This time, getting penetration into the offensive backfield. But Hensley is a guy that was identified this week by defense coordinator Rob Harley as one of the better pass rushers for them. And when a defensive tackle is picked as one of your best pass rushers, that means a lot.
Loss of 2 on the play for Holy Cross. Quick pass, good hands. That was Charlie Mullally with the reception.
Nice pass by Swanson, and you're absolutely correct. That is not an easy ball to catch, because you're moving and a diagonal, the football's coming, it's up and away, and the running, you know you're going to get hit, which Mullally did, and he was able to secure it.
Husky fans on their feet. It's 3rd and 4. Swanson's going deep. And a flag is thrown. That was Jacob Finley in coverage.
Well, they go 4 receivers to the right. They isolate Jacob Finley.
Pass interference. Defense, number 3. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
And it's interesting they go after Jacob Finley, because both Northern Illinois and Holy Cross told us that guy is the best defensive back in a backfield of really good ones for Northern Illinois, but they went one-on-one and they took their shot. Coach Curran told us this week, we have to make some explosive plays, but we have to do it at the right times. You just can't be throwing the ball over the field. He must have felt at that moment it was a chance to have an explosive impact play.
He wanted to be calculated with those big plays in this game, and they get a huge penalty off of it. Now in NIU territory, Swanson finds Mullally again, but the ball is popped out. Mark Hensley is on it. And that is the second turnover for this Holy Cross offense.
Beautiful play defensively to rip the football from the receiver's hands. And we believe Erweiler Take a look. He's on the right of your screen by the hash, number 32, and watch him come across, hit, rip, and there's Mark Hensley fielding the ground ball and changing possession. Look at Erweiler coming. And when you're taught as a linebacker, if you hit him and you stand him up, you immediately start ripping at the football.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. The play is under further review.
Quinn Erweiler, a fifth-year senior. We were talking about him pregame, a former walk-on, now a captain on this NIU defense. He's a big voice on that side of the ball for this NIU program.
You can tell from Coach Curran's face, he knows this is a big moment in the game. They had the momentum, they were driving, and I thought, Kelsey, this was a bang-bang type play with potential to be overturned, and Coach Hammock knows the same thing. There's nothing better than getting turnovers or get backs, as they call them. Take a look at it. Yeah, I believe the end zone angle looked like his left knee hit the ground just before being pulled out. There it is down, and then the ball comes out. Actually, if you watch, as the ball's being pulled out, his knee's actually coming up off the ground. Heads up play by Erweiler.
Just ripping the ball out, but this one has a chance to be overturned. Holy Cross with an excellent drive that started at about the 3-yard line. They have made their way into NIU territory, looking to keep this possession alive and find themselves on the scoreboard here in the second quarter. This is a Holy Cross offense, an average 27 points per game last season. That was good for third in the Patriot League. And now this year they returned 4 of their all-Patriot League selections. And as we mentioned, third in the preseason rankings.
Well, some of those all-MAC selections have just returned to the field because Coach Hammock's put his defense back out on the ball before the officials even get out from underneath the hood. So someone told him, Coach, this is getting overturned.
After review, the runner's knee was down with the ball on the 36-yard line. It will be second down and 3 from the 36. The game clock will start on my ready for play whistle.
So the possession stays alive for Holy Cross. Call overturned. It will not be a fumble. It'll be second and 3 from the 36-yard line. If you're Holy Cross, you're still in a great position right now. In the second quarter, you have a chance to take the lead against an FBS program here in week 1.
They came in with a lot of confidence. You know, Coach Curran said this week, we're not coming here just to compete. We're planning on winning this game. We're planning on winning every play. Now, that's not going to happen, but you win enough of those individual plays and you have a real shot at winning the game. And this drive right here will tell us a lot about how that's going for Holy Cross if they can take the lead.
Swanson to the right. Pass caught by Kaysen. He's ripped up. It looks like he's going to get the first down.
With the tackle for the Huskies, number 2, Cyrus McCarron.
Cyrus McCarron with the tackle. That catch good enough for a first down to move the chains for the Crusaders.
I really like what Coach Andrew Dresner, the offensive coordinator for Holy Cross, is doing right now with his play calling, because he's mixing it up. He's going deep, he's going short, he's going through the air, he's going on the ground. He's using a lot of different players, and it's keeping Northern Illinois on their heels.
Swanson under center, hands it off to Clairvaux. Right into the pack where he gets swallowed up.
Holy Cross got body on body up front, but no movement. So Northern Illinois' defensive line stood him up. Clairvaux runs into a wall and has to try to bounce it outside, and Jumet was there to make the play and bring him down. His offensive line has fared well today. See Jaden Joyce, number 77, he's in at left guard. We expected him to rotate.
Swanson to his right, connects again with Kaysen. Second catch for the sophomore on this drive. Getting a little bit more involved compared to last year. Only 5 receptions for 22 yards. So 3rd and 3 for this Holy Cross offense.
Timeout. Holy Cross. Their first charge timeout of the first half.
It looks like
This will
Holy
be a
Cross is
media
going to talk this
timeout.
one over. Big 3rd down here in the second quarter. Crusaders trailing by 3. Just over 8 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Northern Illinois up 3-0 over Holy Cross. Well, the all-new ESPN is here. For the best experience, all you need to do is follow these 3 simple steps.
First, you'll need the ESPN app on your connected TV or favorite device. If you have it, open it up. If you don't, download it now. Next, click on the live event or ESPN show you want to watch. Then choose your TV provider and log in. You're all set. It's all of ESPN, all in one place. Go to support.espn.com to learn more.
Well, a big opportunity for this Holy Cross offense here in the second quarter.
Keep an eye on the right side of the line, although they're going empty. They're going back to that formation 4 on the right with 1 receiver to the bottom of your screen.
3rd down for the Crusaders. Swanson in trouble. And he is tackled in the backfield. That is Quinn Erweiler in for the big sack.
Looked like Holy Cross wanted to run a quarterback draw, and it was closed up. Jelani Williams, number 11, was right in his face. And Swanson has to watch. He wants to come up the middle, and there's Williams, so he has to bounce it outside. And that's when Erweiler comes up, Jasper Beeler, and is that Mark Preto?
Mark Preto in too.
Really nice job by that Northern Illinois defense. 4th down, they're going to keep the offense on the field.
4th and 11. Swanson pressured again. Rolls to his left, takes a shot to the end zone, and it is way over the head of Max Mosey.
Number 72.
Excuse me, Ty Curran in the end zone. Pass intended for him on a 4th down, but Holy Cross can't convert. NAU takes over when we come back. Northern Illinois takes over after their defense gets a big 4th down stop. And Ryan, what more do you want to see from this Husky offense as they have not been able to find the end zone so far in this game?
I'd like to see them get it in the hands of some of their playmakers in space. I thought that Holy Cross did a really nice job of doing that, mixing it up. And, you know, Northern Illinois traditionally has been a run-first type of thing, but if you could get Telly Johnson, one of these talented wide receivers on the edge or in space, and let him break a, you know, have a home run and explosive play like Chavon Wright did earlier.
Chavon Wright with a 45-yard run earlier that resulted in an NIU field goal. Well, here's a pass and a cutting Diari Rogers just short of the 1st down.
That's exactly what I was talking about. So now you get it out on the edge. You've got some guys to block for you, and you have it in the hands of the speedster Rogers. Now he's in space, and you watch him try to cut back to the left. It's a really good tackle on the edge. Tommy best pitch, but that's what you want to do is get Rogers in space.
Number 11, Ethan Coley with a tackle for the Crusaders. No gain on the play, 2nd and 10.
No gain on the play for Northern Illinois. That brings up 2nd and 10. Five seconds on the clock for Northern Illinois. Holst gets it off just in time. The overthrows his intended receiver, LaDon Bryant, on the near side. Brings up 3rd and 10.
Play appeared to be a little disjointed from the get. A little bit of confusion, or so it seemed.
Both teams have found themselves in some 3rd down situations early in this game. Huskies looking to convert here. Holst flips it over, and it's going to be short of the 1st down. He connects with Telly Johnson Jr. But again, another 4th down for Northern Illinois.
Nathan Crowley is following Telly Johnson Jr. across the field. Lays out, brings him down right away, and the punt team should be coming out from Northern Illinois. Good pass protection from the Huskies offensive line. Gave him time, but you know, there's no blitz from Holy Cross, which means they could drop an extra man into coverage, and that makes it more difficult to get a receiver open. Oh boy.
Northern Illinois able to jump on it, but the snap over the head of Vukovic.
Huge turn of events. And this Vukovic never really had a chance at that football. It went well over his head, and he's lucky to be able to even get on top of it. And a sudden change, and the Crusaders are going to take over at the 13-yard line of Northern Illinois.
And just like that, Holy Cross inside the red zone with a huge opportunity to take the lead here in the 2nd quarter. The Crusaders have had to start possessions with really tough field position. They get a big opportunity here. They'll go on the ground to Clairvaux. He's inside the 15, taken down at the 5. And a helmet comes popping off.
Number 65 for the offense must sit one way because his helmet came off without a foul.
That's Joe Metzger who's going to have to sit out this play. But take a look at this run from Clairvaux.
Battling through defenders, gets behind Metzger, and you see a huge hit on Metzger that knocks his helmet off. But Clairvaux makes it 2nd and short after being bottled up at the line of scrimmage.
An All-Patriot League first-team selection. Gets his team to the 6-yard line. He'll take it again. This time taken down by Mark Preto.
Tackled by Mark Preto.
Nice job by Preto to get into the backfield.
Husky Nation.
Looks like Joe Metzger, the right tackle's back in for the Crusaders, as his Northern Illinois team is rallying behind their defense to try to get a big stop and nullify the change of possession.
Well, here we go. 3rd and 4.
Timeout.
And look,
Holy Cross.
looks like Holy
Their
Cross is
second
going to have to
charge
use a
timeout
timeout here.
Of the first half.
Big
This will be
opportunity.
a media
The 5-yard
timeout.
line. Crusaders looking to score. Holy Cross trailing 3-0 to Northern Illinois, but they have a big opportunity to score here in the red zone. 3rd down, ball on the 7-yard line. They got an opportunity to take the lead, or if not, hopefully kick a field goal.
And they're going with the Michigan formation here. Trick play, and they're going to break out. Northern Illinois has no idea how they're going to line up because of this.
They did that on the previous play, too. Dan Curran calling a timeout to talk over this play, hoping to execute for the first score of the season. Swanson in trouble, and he's taken down. Roy Williams comes in with a huge sack to force 4th down.
Oh, when you need a play, Roy Williams is one of the guys on this defense that they rely on to do it. And look at the move right around left tackle to go get after the quarterback. Oh, I'm sorry, went around the guard, Jaden Joyce, rushing from the inside, Roy Williams. Huge play for Northern Illinois' defense.
So Holy Cross looks to kick the field goal. Here's Luis Palenzuela, and it's good. He ties it up. Palenzuela, the senior kicker out of Miami, Florida, lost the job last season for Holy Cross, ended up winning it back this year. And Dan Curran really likes his consistency in the red zone, and that's exactly what he did to tie this game up at 3 apiece.
I think it says a lot about his personality and his commitment to be a starter 2 years ago, lose it for a year, and then come back. And this is A big kick for Palenzuela ties it up.
So just under 3.5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. We have yet to see a touchdown in this game. They've only traded field goals so far. But Northern Illinois will get the ball back after a bad snap on a punt. That's how Holy Cross got that field goal. In their earlier possessions, they had really bad field position. They had great field position in the red zone, and they capitalized on that opportunity.
Thomas Hammock this week talked to us about what his goals were and how they want to win. He said, we want to play clean with no turnovers. We tackle well, and we have to have excellent special teams. And the fourth one was, don't give the game to them. Make them beat us. If they show up and they're the better football team and we lose, then that's what you have to deal with. But don't give them the game, make them earn it.
This is Reynolds back to receive the kick. And a flag goes flying. Takes it just past the 20-yard line.
Illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 4. Half the distance to the goal line. First down.
I mentioned it. Special teams, not hurting yourself. The points of emphasis for Coach Hammock, and, you know, not to dwell on the negativity, but it continues to happen. Their defense bailed them out. But now that offense has a chance to respond, you don't want to begin the drive on your own 8-yard line because of a penalty.
That is where they're setting up shop here. With just over 3 minutes to go in the first half. Taking it on the ground just short of a first down is Telly Johnson Jr. Trying to give his team some breathing room here. Second down. Lagoda Johnson again on the ground, and he muscles his way to a first down.
That was a man's run right there from Telly Johnson Jr.
Johnson Jr., the sophomore running back, appeared in the final 6 games of the season last year. He came in with a Ontario Browns injury, but he had back-to-back 100-yard rushing games last season against Western Michigan and Akron. Wearing number 45 this season.
This is his high school number.
Holst will go in the air, but just out of reach of Gary Givens, the Valpo transfer to Tampa, Florida.
That was a dangerous pass because the ball was in the air for a very long time. Linebacker Adam Dew was closing in on it. Fortunately for Holst, it was overthrown as well. But watch how long this ball appears to be in the air. Part of it is because of the pressure, and he wasn't able to step into the throw. It's always dangerous thrown from one hash to the opposite sideline.
Johnson on the ground, and he is swallowed up. Cam Santee on the tackle for the Crusaders.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
Huge tackle by Santee leads us to the 2-minute timeout here in the second quarter. NIU, Holy Cross, tied at 3. 2 minutes to go in this first half, all tied up at 3 apiece between Holy Cross and Northern Illinois. The Huskies 3rd and 10 on their own 23-yard line. Big play for Josh Holst and his Husky offense. Throws it to his right, pass caught. He's got the first down, tackle just shy of midfield. A huge catch from Diari Rogers. He's been a big target for Holst this afternoon.
Quick now route, wide receivers blocking on the screen, and Rogers turns the Jets on. They're back on the ball.
They're moving quick. Holst is going to take a shot at it. He's got Givens down the near sideline, and pass incomplete. That was Cam Jones in coverage for Holy Cross. But a flag's on the field at about the 25-yard line.
It is in the center of the field, though. So I think it would be unrelated to the pass and the coverage by Cam Jones. We'll see. I like the decision by Northern Illinois. Get the first down yardage and then take a shot deep right away.
Moving quick, too. Not allowing that Holy Cross defense to get set.
Illegal substitution. 12 players participating in the down. Defense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Northern Illinois has elected to reset the game clock to 1 minute and 52 seconds because the defense participated with 12 players in the field. We also have a sideline warning against Holy Cross. There is no yardage penalty for that infraction. Game clock will start on the snap.
All right, so all of that, and the game clock is now reset to 1:52, and it's first down for Northern Illinois at the 47-yard line.
So get the 10 seconds back and 5 yards to make it 1st and 5.
So this NIU offense looking to move quickly and end the first half strong. The handoff to Johnson will be right at the first down marker. And it looks like they're going to give it to him. Johnson moving the chains again. And this offense starting to find some flow here late in the second quarter.
Nice push up front from the offensive line. I think they played terrific in this first half for the Huskies.
Holst drop back, flushed, past the 45, and taking it out of bounds for about a gain of 2 on the play. Holst has had a lot of time in the pocket today, but that time getting a little pressure from the defense.
Yeah, I agree with the decision right there to run. You're just going to stop the clock. 4 yards, 5 yards is a solid gain. 4 yards they're going to give them. But you've advanced the football, and you've also done the right thing by getting out of bounds.
So 2nd and 6 at the Holy Cross 37. Holst pass to his tight end. Jake Applegate has a first down. Taken out at about the 27-yard line.
Holy Cross blitzed the cornerback from that side. Take a look. You're going to see the corner come screaming in, and quarterback Josh Holst identifies it and replaces it. When he comes, that's where the ball goes, and he gets it to the guy that offensive coordinator Quinn Sanders says has the best hands on the team. That's Jake Applegate.
First catch for Applegate today. Another first down for the Huskies. Holst fakes the handoff, got plenty of time. He's going to scramble, and he slides down at the 25-yard line. Clock is rolling as we hit the 1 minute mark here in the first half. NIU looking to take the lead before halftime. Johnson on the ground, fighting for a few more yards. As Cam Santee in on the tackle, the junior signal caller for this Holy Cross defense.
Cam Santee with the tackle for the Crusaders.
Timeout, Northern Illinois. Their second charge timeout of the first half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
So Northern Illinois will use a timeout here with 43 seconds on the clock. It is 3rd and 7. And coming up at halftime, we're going to talk about the legendary career of Lee Corso, his final college game day this morning, as well as talk about first half highlights and stats from this week 1 matchup.
You just mentioned Cam Santee, number 21, who's in that mix. There he is on the left. And last year, so he comes in, he's a Mike linebacker as a freshman. Last year, due to the number of injuries the Holy Cross defense had, he moves to defensive end. All he does is have 51 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, a sack and a half. And now that their defensive line, he can return to his natural position at middle linebacker, and he's having an outstanding afternoon. Excellent head coach Mike Elder from Avon, Ohio. State championship type program that Cam Santee comes from.
A lot of depth on this Holy Cross defense. They'll look to lean on it here. 3rd and 7. Holst in trouble. Somehow he gets out of it. Still on his feet, taken down at the 21-yard line. That is shy of the first down, but able to make something out of nothing is Josh Holst.
Kevin Gillis, number 50, is 6'1", 290 pounds, and I do not know how Josh Holst was able to run out of the grab of Gillis, but he makes a negative a positive. 4th down.
Timeout. Holy Cross.
So this time,
that is
Holy
their third and
Cross
final charge timeout
will use their
of the first
final
half.
time out
This will
of the
be a
first
30-second
half.
timeout.
Let's take another look at this run from Holst.
Well, it's a great job by Gillis, just pushing his man back all the way into the quarterback, and he has him. Somehow he gets away, and you see, there he is again, Santee, 21, coming in to make a play. That situation, 4th and 4 with 13, and they line up on the ball. I was wondering who's going to blink and call the timeout. Well, it was Holy Cross. They wanted to get set.
So the kicking team will come back out for NIU. Andrew Glass connected on a field goal in the first quarter, and looking to give the Huskies the lead again. The kick is up and just getting it in. Glass is 2 for 2 on the day, and Northern Illinois takes a 6-3 lead.
I'm starting to think it's me, Kelsey. I had Wyoming and Akron on Thursday, just 2 days ago, and that game was 3-0 at halftime. They finally got 1 touchdown in the second half to make it a 10-0 win, with Wyoming beating Akron. But offensive coordinators aren't going to want to talk to me anymore. Nobody's scoring touchdowns when I'm in the booth. Defensive guys, now they love me because nobody scores touchdowns.
How about the defense from both of these teams here in the first half? Nobody finding the end zone. But against these young quarterbacks, we mentioned this is Cal Swanson's first ever college football game. He sat for 2 seasons at Illinois before transferring to Holy Cross. So this is the first time live action. And then Josh Holst, he played in 7 games. He only started 3 last year. He's still a redshirt sophomore. So 2 young quarterbacks trying to lead their respective offenses.
Well, let's start with Swanson. He doesn't look like that's the last time he played in a football game. He looks outstanding. And Josh Holst has done exactly what Josh Holst does. He's creating plays. And you know, you look back in the field goal, if he doesn't get out of the grasp of Kevin Gillis, that makes it a 6-7 yard deeper field goal for Andrew Glass. So the impact of that play by individual effort by Josh Holst should not be understated.
Glass back off to kick it off, and it's a onside kick. Gobbled up near the 40-yard line. With about 5 seconds left on the clock for Holy Cross.
Tommy Bestpitch, defensive back, got his hands on that football and had some ideas of grandeur to return it. Always interesting here if the coach elects to take a knee and go in and get those halftime adjustments started, or take a real risky shot from 59 yards away from the end zone, they're going to get in the victory formation and just kneel it out.
And that's exactly what they do. Swanson will take a knee, and that will wrap up the first half here in DeKalb. NIU with the 6-3 lead over Holy Cross. Neither team finding the end zone in this first half. We have seen 3 field goals, and that is where we lie. 6-3 at the halftime break. When we come back, we'll talk Lee Corso, as well as first half stats and more at the halftime break here in DeKalb. Halftime here in DeKalb, Northern Illinois with a 6-3 lead over Holy Cross in week 1 of college football. Up in the booth alongside Ryan Cavanaugh, I'm Kelsey Casper. And Ryan, let's talk a little bit about that first half. A lot of defense, not so much offense. Neither team able to find the end zone, but we've seen 3 field goals so far, and that's where NIU leads 6-3.
Yeah, very impressive work by the defense. What I like the most about the defense is that both teams were put in positions where the defense had their backs to the goal line, and they held them to those field goals. They stood up in important moments. Of course, one for Northern Illinois was about after an errant snap, and for Holy Cross, the long run that put the ball inside their 20. Now, I think the offensive lines are both playing very well. We just got to figure out, if you're both teams, the offense has to figure out how to get the ball to those playmakers and make some big explosive plays.
Well, let's see if these young quarterbacks can go to work in the second half. More to come at halftime. We'll talk a little bit about Lee Corso and his legendary career on College Game Day, as well as first half stats, and more when we come back. Halftime here in DeKalb. Northern Illinois leads Holy Cross 6-3 at the break. Well, today was the last College Game Day for head coach Lee Corso. And during the course of his career, it featured 400 headgear picks, live mascots, special guests, and even a few outtakes that needed a little special editing. But through it all, the legendary coach Lee Corso made one thing clear: it never gets old. His passion has embraced the fans, celebrated the sport, and built a tradition unlike any other.
When Elsie puts on the headgear every Saturday morning. That is the moment when the day of football can start.
Could have never have dreamt that it would have become where we are today, where fans every week, that's what they wait for, to see which headgear he's going to put on.
I like Ohio State's speed and power, but I question their place kicker and their punter.
The headgear tradition started in 1996 at Ohio State. Herb Street was fairly new on the show, and Kirk's wife Allison had been an Ohio State cheerleader.
He thought I might have some kind of in to try to get Brutus his headgear.
They had to do some very high-level, tense negotiations.
I'm telling you, it took 3 or 4 different back and forths until finally they green-lighted Brutus.
I tell you one thing. Huskies!
Let's just examine the Brutus head. It's a head representing a nut, a two-tone nut.
I like the Buckeyes!
So it's ridiculous looking. You can't help but laugh.
Hey, 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 hey!
And when he sensed that that was an entertaining moment that resonated with fans across the sport, he embraced it, and it's become a beloved tradition.
Colorado in a big upset!
I remember him as a young kid watching College Game Day, and Lee Corso was on there putting on the headgear. He is College Game Day.
I feel like I've been watching Lee Corso do that since, I was in high school. The different antics he's used and mascots he's used has been pretty incredible.
Entire wolf costume, a purple cow!
To this day, I still watch and anticipate to see what he's going to do.
Go Navy, beat Army.
Seeing him fire off the guns is pretty funny.
My favorite one, we're at Texas, and McConaughey starts wrestling the LSU Tiger head off of LC. There was a little trickle of blood.
Katy Perry was incredible. Like, she damn near broke my man's nose, taking the mascot head off of him.
How can you pick against SMU?
He's thrown out some words that might needed to be edited.
My favorite memories definitely include live animals.
We got a live duck. Who's on the set? He's not afraid of gamecocks. He's not afraid of alligators. He's not afraid of dogs of any kind.
That dog is beautiful! That dog is ugly! Give me this thing here!
I think the best part is when Coach does the okey-doke, where he grabs one head, gets ready to put it on, and then he chucks it to the side and grabs the other one.
Penn State!
Give him that head. Does that mean you're going to go against your first love, Brutus?
Coach Corso is a maestro of the crowd. He can take them on a ride like not many people in the history of television can.
Corso with the duck.
He's always got something ready for the people, and to see him come out as Ben Franklin was just absolutely incredible.
I founded Penn! This is my school!
My best moment is when he picked Texas to win the national championship.
Tonight, they shocked the entire universe!
And all the other guys up there were totally against him.
I'm going with Texas Longhorns! Hook up, Texas!
And then we won. And I've praised Coach for that ever since.
He takes the headgear and he puts it on, right? And he just does this.
Hey! That royal wave is very perfect for the human that he is, the king of college football.
I think he's been a great ambassador for college football and has brought some great perspective, but also brought laughs and fun to a game that we have to remember is still supposed to be fun and supposed to be a game.
What he's provided to so many households, what he's provided to so many of us as coaches, he put a lot of fun in the game. I just can't thank him enough.
Roll Tide!
It's sincere, it's authentic, it's genuine, it embraces the fans, it embraces the tradition of what makes this sport unlike any other, and what makes Lee Corso a college football broadcaster, an icon that's unlike any other who's ever been involved with this sport.
And God bless the United States of America!
The fact that I've got a chance to sit next to you all these years and watch you do your thing and just learn from you It just taught me so much about this industry, watching you perform and the way you did it.
There he is. The Kirk Herbstreit Show.
We love you so much. You're a piece of gold that we cherish.
And with today's show, that puts an end to Coach Lee Corso's career.
Oh, not so fast, my friend. I always wanted to say that. I truly believe just the legacy of Coach Lee Corso will carry on for future generations of coaching, and what he's been able to do behind the desk, bringing entertainment with value to sports fans and football fans all over the world, that will continue to live on. And what about Coach going out on top one last time, picking the Buckeyes? And I feel like they did it for him a little bit.
Just a little bit. So many memories created on Saturday mornings with Lee Corso and College Game Day. Well, second half awaits us here in DeKalb, Northern Illinois, up 6-3 over Holy Cross. halftime starting to wrap up here in DeKalb, Illinois. It's the home team, Northern Illinois, with a 3-point lead over Holy Cross as we get to take a look at the first half highlights. A lot of it was defense, Ryan, and it started with some big hits from Holy Cross.
Yeah, defense was the name of the game. Latham Crowley, one of those guys right here for Holy Cross. And how about Eli Thompson and the half he has? This is an exclamation hit. And over on the other side, this was one of the big plays of the half. Mohammed Jamed catching the interception off the tip ball. And the defensive front for Northern Illinois, as good as advertised, chasing just Crusaders all over the field. That time it was quarterback Cal Swanson.
6-3 lead for Northern Illinois. We have second half action on the end of this break here in week 1 of college football. Third quarter action about to kick off here in DeKalb, Illinois for this week 1 matchup between Northern Illinois and Holy Cross. The Huskies with a 6-3 lead over the Crusaders. Northern Illinois will kick this one away, and Holy Cross will have the ball to start this second half. Like we mentioned, we have only seen field goals in this team. Neither team has found the end zone, but at the halftime break, offenses have regrouped and they're ready to go here in the second half. The sun is out on a beautiful day here to start the college football season. Elijah Kaysen back to field this one inside the 5-yard line, and he's found a big hole. Past the 40, past midfield is Kaysen on the huge return for Holy Cross here to start the second half.
I was just going to say that could change because of the amount of speed deep for Holy Cross. They had Ty Curran and Elijah Kaysen, both who can really go. An excellent play by Jordan Lynch in kick coverage to finally chase Kaysen out. There's Lynch, number 5. Really nice move in the open field.
Well, what a start to this second half for Holy Cross as they now have the ball at Northern Illinois' 29-yard line. big explosive plays that head coach Dan Curran wanted to see in this game if they want to pull out a win. Quick throw and a catch by Max Mosey, taken down by 2 NIU defenders. Max Mosey, the lead receiver for this Holy Cross offense. Didn't see too much of him in the first half, but last season led the Patriot League, averaging 19 yards per reception.
Offense coordinator Andrew Dresner says he will show up. He always does, and he never disappoints on game day. He's had a nice day today. So is Swanson. 8 of 12, only 55 yards, so he's kept the passes conservative, at least the completions.
A big stop by the Northern Illinois defense. That was Ty Miles in on the tackle. Sam Slade received the handoff.
Really nice job shooting the gap here. Also in on that tackle was Pierce Opong, wearing number 8, who plays on both sides of the ball. Tight end, defensive line.
Well, quickly, it's 3rd down for Holy Cross. Swanson pressured and pass broken up. Jasper Beeler getting a hand on it and forcing a 4th down.
What a play by Jasper Beeler, closing, using the inside hand to knock it away. Beautiful technique. Just got to the football before it got to Ty Curran. And you're not going to believe this, Kelsey. There's a field goal unit on the field.
That is something both of these defenses have been really good at.
It's a 41-yard attempt for Luis Palenzuela.
He hit a 33-yard attempt in the first half. This one up, and it's no good. Far left. So after giving up the huge kickoff return, NIU able to get out with no points on the board.
Take a look at this kick here, Kelsey. I saw it from up here. I believe the laces are facing Palenzuela. Let's see where those laces are, and they are. And when the laces is the direction the football is going to travel, and when the kicker's foot hits the laces, it makes the direction of the ball more uncontrollable or unexpected, and you saw him push it there. And that's why, for holders, if you're on a hash, they'll spin the laces in the direction of the uprights. That time they were facing the wrong way, and Palenzuela put his foot directly into them.
Well, now here's the Northern Illinois offense starting at the 23. There is Telly Johnson Jr.
He's got quick feet coming through the hole. Really beautiful job stepping in and out, stepping out of tackles, moving side to side. That's done in the offseason. Those are those cone drills, ladder drills, increasing your footwork and being able to avoid tacklers when he gets through the hole. Telly Johnson just did it.
He gained 9 yards on the play. Here's 2nd and 1. Play action, Holst with some time. And it's caught. Pass complete to Diari Rogers. That's another Husky 1st down.
Diari Rogers did a great job of changing his route and getting in the eyesight of Holst. Johnson again.
Number 45, Johnson with the carry.
Johnson, their go-to running back this season. 480 yards on the ground with 4 touchdowns last season. Sophomore out of Georgia. And it's 2nd and 7 for the Huskies. Holst to Johnson again, who's able to get past midfield and move the chains yet again.
This offensive line is starting to impose its will. Thomas Posh and Izzy Ozo, right guard and right tackle. Northern Illinois likes the pace they're moving at, not allowing the defense of Holy Cross to substitute.
Evan Malcor was the only returning starter to this offensive line that entered last season with 172 games of experience. Holst will take a shot downfield. He's got a man open, but it's picked off, intercepted. Carlo Crosetti able to come in and get his hands on it.
I thought the safety was going to intercept this coming off the hash, but look at Crosetti get back into position, go up, full extension, and that is a beautiful play by Carlo Crosetti. He actually took it out of the hands of Cam Jones, wearing number 1 for Holy Cross.
Colliding with his own player. I thought Jones, he was in coverage. Got his hands on it, but it's Crosetti with his first interception of the season. So both quarterbacks with an interception in this game. It's a quarterback keeper for Cal Swanson.
Really nice job by Muhammad Jameh, number 4. He already had an interception in this game. He came up, and there's Jelani Williams also in on the tackle, one of their stud DNs. Muhammad Jameh's having a game.
He had the interception in the first half for Northern Illinois. JoJo Williams lined up next to Cal Swanson. Williams will get the handoff, takes it right. Brought down by Jelani Williams. Going to bring up 2nd and 7 for this Holy Cross offense after a disappointing opening drive. It was Elijah Kaysen with a 71-yard kickoff return to start the third quarter. But their defense couldn't execute, and then they missed the field goal. Excuse me, here's 3rd down. Swanson in pressure. He's going to have to use his legs, but just shy of the 1st down marker. Now it's Philip Maturowski in on the tackle for Northern Illinois.
And that's a great play by Maturowski, because if he doesn't pull Swanson down, it'd be a 1st down. Decision time for Coach Curran. Decision made. Punt team coming out. Look at the job of number 17 in red. Swanson does a good job of knowing when to pull it down. Almost gets around Maturowski. Shoelace tackle. And a big one.
So a quick 3 and out for Holy Cross, and Ethan Moss is back to punt. Diari Rogers back to receive. It's a short punt. It's bouncing and rolling to about the 43-yard line. So that is where Northern Illinois will take over. No point scored here in the second half. It's still 6-3 with just over 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Josh Holst and the Huskies back in the field with under 9 to go here in the third quarter. Ball starting at the 43-yard line. He'll hand it off to his running back, Telly Johnson, with no gain on the play. Josh Holst, 17 on the day, 13 rushing yards. But still yet to find the end zone. The first touchdown of the year for Northern Illinois. Through an interception in the Huskies' first possession of the second half. Johnson the handoff again, and he gets swallowed up.
Johnson gets the handoff for the Huskies.
Excellent penetration off the edge. Shut that down.
It's Ross Stansdale in on the tackle. Wheaton, Illinois. Now that sets up a 3rd and 11. Holst will connect to a wide open Jalen Poe. He gets knocked to the ground. That was Lathan Crawley bringing him to the ground. And a player injured for Northern Illinois.
And that, I believe, is Josh Holst.
Timeout. Media.
That is the Northern Illinois quarterback, Josh Holst, down on the ground after that last play.
He was under pressure as he released the football. And you hate to see an injury, and certainly one to a quarterback that could so strongly impact the game.
Josh Holst is the redshirt sophomore quarterback as we get another look at this play. Connected with Jalen Poe, unable to see what happened after the throw. Here's
Might
a
have
better
had
look.
the offensive lineman pushed into him at the end.
He is limping off the field with the help of the athletic training staff here at Northern Illinois. But Josh Holst won the quarterback battle during training camp this season against Jalen Macon, who actually suffered an injury during training camp. He's going to be out for a few weeks. So we will see who will go in at quarterback. We did see Jackson Proctor in the first half when Josh Holst lost his helmet for a play. Jackson Proctor came in for one snap. But we'll see what Thomas Hammock has to do as this quarterback limps to the sideline. That'll bring up 4th down for NIU in this game. Northern Illinois, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, 48 newcomers to this team. 33 true freshmen, 15 transfers. They actually only returned just 5 players who started 6+ games last year. So this was really a rebuilding year, almost you could say, for Thomas Hammock, who lost so much experience on a really strong team from last season.
One thing that's interesting about Coach Hammock, when you look at those numbers, that's quite different than a lot of other programs these days, because teams dig into the portal, the transfer portal, more for players they think are ready right now to go, where, you know, we haven't seen very many true freshmen in the game. But Coach Hammock has created an environment where he still recruits high school kids that way. Even though they're sitting until they are college ready, they understand the expectations of Northern Illinois football.
That was something when
number 10
he had his
for the
conversation with
defense
hiring
must sit one
his
play because his helmet came off without a foul. Game clock will start on my ready for play whistle.
when he was hiring his new offensive and defensive coordinators, he wanted guys who were adaptable because of the ever so changing landscape in college football. You might have a great player one year and they're gone the next. So he wanted guys who are going to be adaptable in this game, and that's where he picked up Quinn Sanders and Rob Harley. But NIU will punt it away and out of bounds. So after Josh Holst went down with an injury, forces a 4th down, and NIU will punt it away. Well, get all of ESPN college football all in one place with the all-new ESPN app. Unlock with the ESPN Unlimited plan or log in with your TV provider. Third possession of the second half for the Crusaders offense. We started this second half with a bang, but on the last drive went 3 and out. Here's Cal Swanson, quick pass to Mosey, who gets knocked down. That was Muhammad Jameh in coverage.
Offensive coordinator for Holy Cross, Andrew Dresner, while talking about how valuable and important Max Mosey is to his offense, said he would not be surprised if he wasn't the leading receiver, because they have so many other weapons, and at any given moment, depending on what the defense gives them, one of those receivers could have a big day.
He said this is a very deep wide receiver room, and they use Mosey in more ways than one, as Clairvaux takes it on the ground for a short gain. Yeah, Mosey last year had 715 yards receiving, but he also had 48 yards on the ground with 2 rushing touchdowns. So they can use him. He's a versatile guy. They can use him in more ways than one.
Timeout for an injury to a player on offense.
That's Brad Blattner, the left tackle. So important to this offensive line. He's 6'6", 310. As Coach Kern said, he's going to look like an NFL guy out there, and he looks the part. But he's so important to this offense, along with Joe Metzger, the right tackle, because they have to deal with Roy Williams and Jelani Williams. Actually, the entire offensive line, as we saw earlier, Northern Illinois, defensive coordinator Rob Harley will move those guys around, rush from the interior, rush off the edge, but Blattner is a big piece of this offensive line unit.
Some key pieces on that offensive line for Holy Cross, as this brings up a 3rd and 6 situation for Cal Swanson. 3 receivers line up on the near side. Pressure, trying to get out of it. Flush to the near side, and reaching for the 1st down is Swanson.
Very athletic play by Cal Swanson. Pretty good pass protection. The pocket's holding up, and as he tries to step into it, he steps into pressure, sees some green space, turns on the jets, and just gets past the 1st down, sticks. Fresh set of downs for the Crusaders.
Taller, longer quarterback who can run. That is Swanson. Quick pass, and it is dropped. On the far side, that was JoJo Williams. Brings up 2nd and 10.
And heady play by JoJo. In that situation, when you're coming out of the backfield, oftentimes you don't know if that was a backwards pass or a forwards one.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete forward pass. 2nd down.
And that's why the official stepped in to say it's an incomplete pass, not a backwards lateral.
Getting a look at Josh Holst on the sideline, walking back and forth. Hope to see him back out on the field for the next Husky possession. So after the incomplete pass, that brings up 2nd and 10.
2 tight ends to the bottom of your screen.
Swanson launching this one, but just out of the range of Charlie Mullally. Back-to-back incomplete passes, and it's 3rd down.
It's another one of those passes that I think is the most difficult, and that's throwing from one hash to the opposite sideline. Pretty good ball placement. Mullally got his hands on it, but was unable to bring it in.
NIU fans on their feet here in DeKalb on a 3rd and 10. Swanson in pressure again, trying to escape it. There is a flag on the field as he's taken down at the 45-yard line.
Number 6, Swanson with the quarterback keeper. Number 97, Williams with the tackle.
Waiting to hear the call on this play.
Holding. Offense, number 65. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Tackle Joe Metzger got a hand of the Northern Illinois defender's jersey and pulled him to the ground right in front of the officials. But they're going to decline it, and the punt team will come out, and Northern Illinois is going to get the football back.
Solid work so far in this game for NIU defense, forcing another punt from Holy Cross as Ethan Moss comes back out. High punt from Moss is caught by Diari Rogers. And last season, some comments made by Coach Hammock on the transfer portal went viral. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
I didn't get one dime, but the lessons I learned was more valuable than any money you can ever pay me. And I appreciate that because that is long term. People are losing the fact that this is short term. I coached in the National Football League for 5 years. 5 years, right? Don't lose focus of what the long term. Get your degree, learn valuable lessons that's going to help you in the long term of your life. That's the whole purpose. This is a transition.
Quick pass as Jackson Proctor is in the game for Josh Holst at quarterback. That was Joseph Townsend batting that one away. But some comments made from Coach Hammock, and you can tell just the passion that he has for this program. And his thoughts on the transfer portal.
No, it's the program, and it's also the kids. We'll come back to it as Proctor is behind center in the shotgun.
Handoff on the ground, spinning out of a tackle was Chavon Wright. He had a solid first half on the ground for Northern Illinois.
Joseph Townsend, first player to make the hit. But going back to Coach Hammock, when I say he cares about the program, that's unquestionable. When he talks about the portal, that's his care for the kids, because he understands that football is temporary, but the reason we play football is to learn life lessons that carry you through life. And there is no off-ramp in life. If things aren't going your way, you can't just go somewhere else. You have to deal with those issues, and that's what he's speaking to.
Pass caught by Rogers. Taken down at about the 34-yard line. Just shy of the first down, and that'll bring up 4th down. Yeah, you can tell Coach Hammock's goal, of course, it's to make them good football players, but the goal is to make them great people and develop them into overall great human beings.
Well, this is a decision here. It's 4th and 1 from their own 34, and Coach Hammock has the offense on the field.
Two backs standing on either side, but it's a quarterback keeper. Proctor has the first down. Big play on 4th down. The Huskies go for it. And the backup quarterback executes.
Quinn Sanders, offensive coordinator, take a bow, because I am included in the list of people that never thought that was going to be the play call. Putting the ball in the hands of your backup quarterback on 4th and 1 inside your own territory. Very effective, but it was unexpected.
Quick throw to the left, outside to Poe. Doesn't gain anything on the play. There's a shot at the coordinators. Quinn Sanders His first year as offensive coordinator for the Huskies. Was a former head coach at the University of Charleston in West Virginia. He's trying to draw something up here. Has not been able to find the end zone and working with the backup quarterback. Here's Wright, bouncing off some tackles. Still on his feet before he's knocked out of bounds.
And right on cue, Chavon Wright gets the football, and this is a guy who came with Quinn Sanders from the College of Charleston, so he's very familiar with what Wright is able to do, running with the football in his hands.
Nearly 5,000 yards for Wright and 75 touchdowns in 3 seasons.
It's probably one of the reasons that Northern Illinois hired Quinn Sanders to call their plays.
Well, here's a 3rd down for the backup QB. And his pass too far out of bounds, intended for Gibbons. Another 4th down, and the punting team back on the field for Northern Illinois.
This has been a common theme throughout this game, is moving the ball and getting first downs, but stalling out. And again, there's 2 teams on the field. So that is a compliment to the defense. The bend but don't break mentalities, playing very well on third downs throughout this game.
Because we have seen some big moments, some exciting plays, but then not able to execute when they get further downfield. Have to settle for field goals or punting it away.
Delay of game, kicking team, number 44. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So delay of game on Northern Illinois will move them back a few yards. With under 2 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter, 6-3 the score. Northern Illinois leads by 3. They had 2 field goals in that first half. Neither team has scored here in this 3rd quarter. A look at Max Mosey back to receive. And the punt is blocked. Northern Illinois has got it. We believe it's Lincoln Fisher who got a hand on it.
As I just said, we don't see a lot of true freshmen playing. Lincoln Fisher is one of them, a backup wide receiver. Excellent job taking the football off the foot. And Holy Cross continues to have standout special team play.
Quinn Erweiler was able to grab it in, but still a huge special teams effort by Holy Cross. As they now start at the Huskies' 37-yard line. Here with 1:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. Swanson, quick pass to Sam Slade on the outside. Gain of about 6.
Again, more of a conservative passing game for Cal Swanson and the Crusaders offense in general. But if you're an offense, you always want to be ahead of the chains. And what I mean by that is you don't want to be in 2nd and 10. You'd rather be 2nd and 3, 2nd and 6 even.
Swanson under center. And the defense was all over that play. Deshaun Dixon for Northern Illinois, first in on the tackle.
He's had a nice afternoon. And we're going back to being behind the chains. Went from 2nd and 3 to 3rd and 8 because of that man, Deshaun Dixon.
Big tackle for a loss for the senior who had 35 tackles last season. So another 3rd down for Holy Cross. Swanson pressured. This pass is caught. Nathan Sillinger, under pressure, executes for the first down.
Cal Swanson held on to that football as long as possible. He was dangerously close to the line of scrimmage and then fires a bullet. Look at this pass. Beautiful job. Schillinger playing boxing out, playing a little basketball out there, putting his man on his back and giving his quarterback a target.
They'll get the snap off as the clock winds down on the third quarter. Swanson to the end zone. It goes incomplete. No flag on the play. Pass intended for Elijah Kaysen, and that was Jacob Finley in coverage.
That is the end of the third quarter.
Well, that wraps up the third quarter. We're still at the same score. 6-3, NIU leads setting into the fourth. Heading into this fourth quarter, this NIU defense has only allowed 3 points. A new defense under first-year coordinator Rob Harley that has adopted this motto, HEAT. It stands for hunt, effort, assignment, and toughness, and they're going to rely on that here as their defense has an opportunity for a big stop.
Well, through 3 quarters, if I was grading it, there'd be 4 green check marks because they have accomplished all those things. But as you said, they've been put in a lot of these situations, and they've always responded. And see if Northern Illinois does it again.
2nd and 10. Swanson flushed. He's going to use his legs again before he's pushed out of bounds by Mark Preto.
Now Swanson, the quarterback keeper, tackled by Mark Preto.
Nice job by Mark Preto to limit that to just a couple yards.
And this Northern Illinois defensive line is starting to turn up the pressure.
3 of 9 on third down conversions today for Holy Cross.
Look at that total yards. Northern Illinois has held Holy Cross to 133 yards through 3 quarters.
Quarterback keeper, but the Huskies are all over it. Mark Preto again on the tackle for Northern Illinois.
6'2", 225-pound redshirt junior transfer from Fordham continues to make plays. Mark Preto. We've got another field goal opportunity for Luis Palenzuela.
He's 1 of 2 on the day. A 40-yard attempt. And it's no good.
The operation.
Timeout. Media.
The operation here, watch the snap. It comes inside, and the holder has to put it down. Any little minor slip up in the timing or the placement can affect the operation of the long snapper, the holder, and the kicker. And that time, Palenzuela pushes it left.
So Palenzuela misses his last 2 kicks, and the score remains 6-3, NIU lead. Taking a look at the slate of games for next week in the MAC. First year conference member UMass taking on Bryant. Ohio facing West Virginia. Ohio with a close game against Rutgers earlier this week as well.
That game's going to be rocking. It's totally sold out. It has been for weeks. And in fact, there's a ton of West Virginia fans that bought season tickets at Ohio to be able to get themselves into the game, believe it or not.
Talk about a dedicated fan base.
Yeah, and Ohio almost pulled it off at Rutgers, losing 34-31.
Well, here's the backup quarterback, Jackson Proctor, in for his second drive. Hand off to Telly Johnson, and he gets pushed all the way back. Jordan Pritchard-Sewell in for Holy Cross.
First time calling his name. He comes from an excellent, maybe one of the best football programs in the country, Archbishop Hoban in the Akron area. And last year, because of the attrition and the injuries to the defensive line, he played quite a bit. And Holy Cross's coaches talked about those issues being positives this year because they have so many guys with playing experience. Pritchard Sewell being one of them.
Appeared in 10 games as a freshman. Kind of got thrown into the mix with a lot of injuries to this Holy Cross team last season. Again, they will grow on the ground and don't gain much. Pritchard Sewell, again, first in.
You think if we keep talking about him, he'll just keep making plays?
As well.
That was a really nice play in the backfield.
And that's why Holy Cross has a lot of depth on that side of the ball because of all the injuries last year. They had to play so many guys, and now they come into this year with a lot of experience underneath their belt.
Combined 6 of 22 on third downs this afternoon for these two teams.
See Proctor's arm. Short pass dropped by Johnson. That'll bring up fourth down.
And he had all type of room in front of him if he was able to secure that football. But Northern Illinois, 3 plays, 0 yards, and the punt team is back on the field.
A quick 3 and out. It feels right now neither side really has any momentum. It has been a close game this entire time. We'll have to see which team shows out in these last 12 minutes. Mosey back to receive, calls the fair catch inside the 25-yard line. We'll step aside with 12 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. 6-3. The score here in week 1 in DeKalb. Still scoreless in the second half. The score remains 6-3 Northern Illinois lead over Holy Cross. But Ryan, this Crusaders team, they've had some opportunities and plenty of miscues so far in this game.
Now, this is the first one, the tipped pass that Mohamed Jameh intercepted. And Holy Cross has left some points on the table. It's a 3-point game. And because of perhaps some missed opportunities with the operation of the field goals, 2 missed field goals for Holy Cross, and they trail by 3. They've got the football and trying to figure out how to get some offensive mojo going.
I think you said it best. Points left on the table as Swanson goes way back, still holding on to the ball, and it's caught. First down pass completion to Max Mosey.
That was just a terrific job by Cal Swanson. He's flush from the pocket. I would be very nervous about how to get away from these Northern Illinois defenders. He barely gets away, and look at him keeping his eyes downfield. It's not often you want to throw across your body, but this time it works, and he gets it to Max Mosey.
We've seen a couple of those late passes he's been able to execute. A sidearm there off the hands of Clairvaux. Falls incomplete, 2nd and 10.
They had it set up with a blocker in front, but because of the pass rush, Cal Swanson had to wait longer than he wanted to throw it, and as you pointed out, had to go sidearm. It was a missile.
Cal Swanson, 12 of 21 on the day. In his first ever college start. Spent the last 2 seasons as a backup at Illinois. Cutting across the field is Mosey, who's still on his feet. Cuts back to the outside, and he's got open room. Inside the 20, and finally taken out near the 10-yard line. The explosive plays Holy Cross has been waiting for.
Well, it was a crossing route. They had trips to the top. All 3 receivers come in. You're going to see Max Mosey. Great strike, but I love this. Stop, change direction, gets spun around, and he gets all the defenders for the Huskies going one way, and he goes the opposite. Big time play for Max Mosey.
The lead receiver, not just on this Holy Cross team, but in the entire Patriot League Conference last season. He says he always comes up big, and they're looking for him to come up big in this moment. Neither team has found the end zone today. Swanson's going for it. Finally, a touchdown in this game. Pass caught by Blake Youngblood. And Holy Cross takes the lead.
Blake Youngblood comes in for Max Mosey, and it's a double move. What I call a sluggo route, which is a slant and go, but it was more of a slant to a flag. And Cal Swanson throws a dime. Watch him pump his arms here. Boom, the shoulders to get the defender to react. And then he goes back to Youngblood. Excellent execution.
Youngblood, the senior out of Austin, Texas, with his first reception of the game and the first touchdown of the year for Holy Cross.
Timeout.
Well, we had to wait to the 4th quarter, but we finally get to see a touchdown. Swanson to Youngblood, and Holy Cross out in front for the first time. Holy Cross finally finding the end zone here in the fourth quarter as they take a 10-6 lead over Northern Illinois with 10.5 to go here in the fourth quarter. Holy Cross has defeated 2 FBS opponents since 2021, and they have an opportunity to do it here in DeKalb in week 1. You see the resume. 12 total Patriot League champions. 6-time consecutive title winners. We'll see how Northern Illinois responds. They got a good return right here. Past midfield. Gonna go untouched to the end zone. What a response from Devion Reynolds. Huskies back out in front.
The game of football can change in an instant, and when you have a player like Devion Reynolds to return kicks for you, that's exactly what can and just did happen.
Against Northern Illinois, there's no yardage penalty for that infraction.
96 yards downfield for Devion Reynolds. And talk about a spark for your team.
Special teams are special right now for the Huskies. And they're running a man out here late. That's what's taking so much time. You'll see him coming in the picture. Here he comes. There he is. What a kick return.
Exhilarating moment for this NIU team, who's been pretty silent offensively in this game. But Glass misses the extra point. So this remains a 2-point lead for Northern Illinois.
And again, I've been talking all afternoon about the operation, but look at this snap, putting the holder in a very tough spot, Jack Ferentz. Look where the ball is. He's got to go all the way up. I'm sorry, it's Vukovic, the punter, who was holding it, but it was real high. He had to come up off the ground to get it and put it down. And the extra point is no good.
So that is a huge miscue, especially in a close game in the fourth quarter. A field goal doesn't tie. It takes the lead for Holy Cross.
And I'm not sure the range of emotions we're seeing on Thomas Hammock's face, but I assure you it's a range.
And the special teams miscues for Northern Illinois today. Earlier in this game, we saw a bad snap on a punt. We saw a blocked punt, and now we've missed an extra point.
Not ideal if you're Northern Illinois. You know, so often people talk offense, defense, but the reason coaches talk about the 3 phases of the game, because that third phase, special teams, can often decide a game. It could be a play here or a play there. Special teams has been a theme for this game. We've seen everything you just described and throw in 2 missed field goals.
The whole first half was only field goals. 3 field goals to start this game. 2 Holy Cross players nearly colliding with each other and hit hard at the 20-yard line. Carlo Crosetti fielded the punt and was hit hard.
You see Crosetti takes the ball almost out of Ty Curran's hands. And that's a big-time hit. I think that's Taylor Powell making an impact on special teams.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Crusaders at their own 20. We finally saw them put together a cohesive drive. Now in the handoff, tons of speed from Elijah Kaysen, gets about a 4-yard gain. Tackle made by Quinn Erweiler. And a Husky is down on the field. Looks to be Jelani Williams.
For an injury to a player on defense.
A big component of this NIU defense down on the field. So as we take a moment from this, it was an exciting moment pregame for my partner here, Ryan Kavanaugh. You had a special guest actually on the field down there.
Yeah, a couple of them. My brother Pat and his son Caden Kavanaugh, who's a standout linebacker up in Wisconsin, in the Green Bay area. They're here. Caden was visiting the school, only 15 years old. Last year he was third in the state of Wisconsin. But for me, I get so much joy to have this opportunity to call games, and that's just a little added piece of it to see, them being here and enjoying it and chatting with them before the game. And, just to wrap it up on Caden, obviously a terrific football player. He'd be a perfect fit here with doing it the hard way because he's always done that, but he's a better human being and a terrific kid. It was special.
Super, super cool moment for you. Proud uncle, I can tell. I mean, what are the odds, too, of just schedules lining up? You're calling the game that he gets to be recruited at, too.
Yeah. Sometimes life works in weird ways, and this was a good one.
Special moment pregame as we're now back for 2nd and 6 for the Crusaders. Quick pass. Kaysen again the target as he gets wrapped down by this NIU defense. Dante Harrison in on the tackle and forces a 3rd down.
Flow into the football are the Huskies defensively.
And if you're the Huskies, if you could get a stop right here, keep all the momentum on your side, that could be big in this 4th quarter. Third and 7. Swanson steps back, and Mosey is hit hard and taken down. Jacob Finley with a big stop and forces 4th down.
Jacob Finley's had a great afternoon eyeing up Max Mosey. It's a pretty good guess that the ball's going to go there because of the day Mosey has had, and Finley was sitting in zone coverage. Mosey comes into it. Finley secures and brings him to the ground. And NIU now has an excellent opportunity to take the ball over in great field position as their return man is standing on their own 40.
Moss back to punt. And they'll let this one bounce to about exactly where you said, 40-yard line.
Yeah, I didn't say the returner was there. I said the ball will somehow end up on the 40-yard line.
Predicting this 4th quarter. As NIU finally able to score on their last possession, looking to build off that momentum here and extend their 2-point lead after missing the extra point.
I love that you just said, in my head, I was thinking about momentum in a football game, and you just said it right on cue because it's not something tangible that you could put in a stat sheet, but it's a real thing in the course of football, and they didn't have it. The kick return gave it to them. They 3 and out, and now they have the football, and all the momentum is with Northern Illinois right now.
Hopefully a little bit more confidence for their backup QB. As Telly Johnson with a stiff arm get bounced out of bounds at after a 5-yard gain.
Take a look at right tackle Izzy Ozzie. He's going to pull from the right to the left, 77. He's going to have a great block, and at the end of it, he pulls up lame. But look at that block by Ozzie, and then watch 77, see him grabbing that right hamstring, and now he's off the field, and they have a backup offensive lineman in.
On the ground again. This time the handoff to right.
Number 10, right ball carrier for the Huskies.
The tackle. Colin Reynolds. And Lane Mainsmith is in at right tackle for the Huskies. It's a physical football game when you have offensive linemen rotating and coming out of the game, and this has been every bit of a physical football game.
Low-scoring battle between this FCS-FBS matchup. Tosses it to right, and he's got a 1st down. NIU able to execute on 3rd down.
Well, Tommy Best's pitch came up hard and was in great position, but Johnson was able to sidestep him. to get the first down. Nice piece of running.
64 yards on the ground for Chavon Wright, the transfer from Charleston. Huskies now at midfield on the 50. Fakes the handoff. And wide open. And tripped up is De'Aaron Rodgers. A little trickery from the Huskies. And they're inside the 30.
Huskies have got some guys that can roll. I mean, De'Aaron Rodgers here look, he just goes right past the defender, and he is a shoestring tackle away from taking it to the house. And I look for Northern Illinois. They have the momentum. They want to keep it, but the pace doesn't have to be so fast. They've got 6:05 coming down to 6 minutes. Yeah, that was Garrett Baldwin. Excellent effort.
Possibly a touchdown saving tackle. As again, Huskies are hitting the ground hard here in the fourth quarter. A gain of 7 on the play from Johnson Jr.
He's a horse. I mean, that guy runs hard. Yards after contact for Telly Johnson this afternoon has been very special.
Have yet to see the arm really of Proctor here in this second half. The backup quarterback in for Josh Holst, who left the game with an injury. That one batted away. Right on cue. That's Cam Santee able to get a hand on it.
Watch Cam Santee, 21 of your screen. He's watching the eyes of Proctor. Nice job getting his hand up. Proctor actually almost caught that ball off the tip. He was trying to get it to his tight end, Jake Applegate over the middle.
Yeah, he had his wide open tight end. Nice defensive play from Santee. Proctor under center. Hands it off to Poe. He's got a first down and more. Cuts back in inside the 5 and just shy of the goal line.
What an effort from Jalen Poe. He was smelling the end zone and trying to do everything in his power to get there. Northern Illinois is mixing up the play calls. You see him come out of the slot. Look at the seam, getting there in the middle. And credit to number 8, Pierce Opong. The DN converted to tight end with a great block. First and goal rather.
2 big plays on third down to extend this drive. And NIU in the red zone, first and goal. Looking to extend their lead. Wildcat Wright takes the snap and runs in. First touchdown in an NIU uniform for Chavon Wright. And the Huskies extend their lead.
He's got Poe, who got them down there as a lead blocker, and you see get up on the linebacker, does Poe. And Chavon Wright does what he's done so many times for Quinn Sanders at the College of Charleston. This time it's not only for Coach Sanders, but for Thomas Hammock and his Northern Illinois teammates. Puts them into the end zone to extend this lead to 8 points. And this is an important extra point to make it a 2-score game.
Chavon Wright led all of Division II in rush yards. He also set a Division II single season record.
Game. Kicking team, 5-yard penalty, still to try.
That delay was because they had a player run on late, which may have been due to the injury to Izzy Ozy.
Well, Andrew Glass will line up again. Missed the last extra point. But this time puts it through. 2-score lead for the Huskies.
Excellent blocking by the offensive line. There was one linebacker. Jalen Poe got him, and Chavon Wright did the rest.
As I was saying on Chavon Wright, the 5-year senior out of Florida, who came with offensive coordinator Quinn Sanders from Charleston, the best rusher in Division II, and he set the Division II single season record with 38 touchdowns. 38. And he gets his first one here in DeKalb.
You mentioned that was good enough to be second in the Harlan Hill voting. That's the Division II Heisman Award voting. And that man right there, Thomas Hammock, has to be so happy he's a Northern Illinois Husky, because Chavon Wright adds another element and another piece to the running back room.
Hopefully some relief for head coach Hammock.
It felt like 5 minutes ago that Northern Illinois was down and trying to figure out what they were going to do offensively. And now looking at a 19-10 lead.
Taking it about the 4-yard line. Here's Kaysen on a big return past the 50. He's going to take it all the way. What a response from the Crusaders.
Elijah Kaysen flips the script. Big time kick return for a touchdown. And first half was about defense. Second half has been about special teams. Take a look at the blocking from Holy Cross. Look at them getting body on body, and Kaysen just turns on the jets. Nothing fancy unless you consider blazing top end speed fancy, because that's what Kaysen did. Excellent job by the other 10 players for Holy Cross on that kick return unit, giving him the blocking and creating the crease that Kaysen took advantage of.
So again, crucial extra points here. After missing 2 field goals, the extra point is good for Palenzuela. And suddenly it is back to a 2-point game between Northern Illinois and Holy Cross, and there is still 4 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. We have seen 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns in this game. Well, and finally some life and excitement in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, and Holy Cross has to kick off. So, I mean, this was a beautiful kick return. But look at the blocking. I mean, 1, 2, you got a triple team, and then the kicker, and he's not going to catch Elijah Kaysen right up the sideline.
So much speed for the 5'9" sophomore out of Texas. Kaysen without a touchdown last season. Finds the end zone here in the fourth quarter and keeps Holy Cross in this game. An exciting week 1 matchup between Northern Illinois and Holy Cross. Owen Saraceno will kick it off. Back to receive again is Reynolds. The last time made it all the way to the end zone. This time gets knocked down at about the 25-yard line.
Now for Northern Illinois, it's about possessing the football, working that 358 down, obviously holding on, and ball security is a priority. But it'll be interesting to see what Quinn Sanders does from a play calling standpoint, because that's a lot of time left. Holy Cross has 3 timeouts, so that could be an eternity in the world of football. But if Quinn Sanders can get some chunk plays, shorten the game, that's exactly what they want to do.
Well, they ran the ball a lot on that last possession with Jackson Proctor in as backup quarterback. Johnson on the carry, bounces off a tackle, and able to gain a few yards out of it.
Tully Johnson's footwork is incredible when he gets into the hole. So shifty. And when you see somebody with that type of ability to change directions and make people miss. Look at how many people think they have Telly Johnson, but then he has the power aspect also. I said, coming in last year, there was high expectations for Telly Johnson, and he's only going to continue to get better.
2nd and 6 for the Huskies. Proctor on the move. It's hit hard to the ground by Santee, just shy of the 30-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down.
And this will be an interesting play call. I'm glad I'm sitting here and not in the offensive coordinator's room for Northern Illinois to have to decide, do we run it, do we throw it? 3rd and a long 4, 3rd and 5 in that range.
They were able to convert on a few 3rd downs on that last possession. That was 8 plays, 61 yards, in just over 4 minutes. That ended in a right touchdown. Whistles blowing the play dead and a flag on the field.
False start. Offense, number 8, 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So that just makes it that much tougher for NIU here on 3rd down.
Holy Cross was playing man coverage on the outside, stacking the box, trying to take away the run, and this now changes it to what I would assume is a passing down for the Huskies.
6 penalties for Northern Illinois today. And there's another flag.
False start. Offense, number 66, 5-yard penalty. 3rd down. Please reset the game clock to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. 2-3-0.
Back-to-back false starts, and it's the backup tackle for the Huskies.
Yeah, Lane Mainsmith in for the injured, or at least out of the game, is Ozzie.
Suddenly the Huskies now at a 3rd and 14. They're going to stay to the ground. And did the ball come out? Dogpile form. Holy Cross says they have it.
And the officials are telling them to wind the clock.
Timeout. Holy Cross. That is their first charge timeout.
So looks like it'll be 1st or 4th down.
This will be a 13-second
NIU
timeout.
and a timeout for
Game
Holy
clock
Cross.
operator, please reset the game clock to 2 minutes, 24 seconds. 2-2-4.
And here's Josh Holst throwing the football. And
thank you.
I'm not inside his mind, but what I think he's figuring out is, how does my right leg feel? Can I throw the ball? And situationally right now, Northern Illinois is going to punt. They're going to be punting deep from their own end. So again, Holy Cross is going to get good field position, and they only need a field goal to take the lead. So Josh Holst, if it were me, would be saying, if that happens and we need to drive down the field on a game-winning drive, am I able to be the quarterback to do that? Is my body going to allow me to do that? And that's why you see him warming up on the sidelines.
A big moment here, as you just summed up. Huge stop defensively as NIU goes 3 and out. Mosey, he had called for the late catch, but ended up taking off. But a fair catch is ruled on the field at about the 37-yard line.
Yeah, I saw him raise his left hand to signal, and then maybe a half a second later he caught the football and started running. So we'll see from this angle.
He did that little wave with his left hand.
Yeah, it was almost like he's just finished dinner and they're like, yeah, you could take the plates side to side, but, you know, it certainly wasn't over his head.
Well, here we go. A big drive for Holy Cross, trailing by 2 in the 4th. Swanson, quick pass, but over the head of his receivers. Falls incomplete.
trying to get it to Elijah Kaysen, and it appeared as if Cal Swanson was unsure if he was going to run it or throw it, and at the last second tried to throw it. But first game in 3 years, look at those numbers. Pretty efficient, 16 to 26, 149 against a very good Northern Illinois defense.
2nd and 10. Again, out of the reach of his intended receiver with Sam Slade. 3rd down.
And it's hard to tell if he threw that ball away, if he saw a Northern Illinois defender coming and he wasn't, going to force something, live to fight another day. And, depending on what coach wants to do, this may be 4-down territory here, and I'm assuming it will be.
The Huskies looking for a big stop, trying to force the Crusaders in a 3-and-out. Swanson connects to Mullally, but he's wrestled down by Ty Miles. And a 4th down for Holy Cross.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
So exciting back and forth action. It is a 2-point game with 2 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. NIU leading 19-17. Well, this has turned into quite the week 1 matchup here in DeKalb. Northern Illinois up by 2 with 2 minutes to go. 4th down for Holy Cross at their own 45-yard line. 4th and 4 for Cal Swanson. And pass is broken up. Big defensive play from Mohamed Jameh, who's been all over the place for this NIU defense all day.
What a play from Mohamed Jameh. And with 1:56, Holy Cross has 2 timeouts. We're going to take a look at this one more time, Kelsey. Swanson got what he wanted, and Jameh was on him like a cape.
knocks the ball away from Mosey. That's what I think you do in those situations. You go to your most trusted receiver, try to get him the football, and guess who's coming back on the field for the Huskies to try to close the show? It's Josh Holst.
The starting quarterback re-enters after suffering an injury earlier in this game. It's been all Jackson Proctor here in the second half. But the redshirt sophomore back out to finish what he started. Handoff on the ground, gain for a couple of yards. And the clock is winding down here. Under 2 minutes to go. That was right on the carry. He's had a great day on the ground for Northern Illinois.
And when you're Holy Cross in this situation, you decide whether to use the first down based on how many yards they get. If it would have been a gain of 1, I think he would have used his timeouts, gotten him to third down, and made Northern Illinois decide on third and long, are we going to pass it or run it, and use the clock. But here he's electing to use the clock and keep the 2 timeouts in his pocket.
Holy Cross with 2 timeouts, NIU with all 3. They'll continue to go on the ground and pushing their way to a first down. Again, it's right on the carry.
Timeout, Holy Cross. That is the second charge timeout of the second half. This would be a 13-second timeout.
So now Holy Cross will use their timeout with just over a minute to go in this fourth quarter. But Ryan, just talk about the late game antics here from Northern Illinois. Their offense, their special teams finally able to execute, and their defense from start to finish has been phenomenal all day.
Yeah, if we could start where you left off, that defense is as good as advertised. They're very, very good. Their special teams has stepped up, and their offense has. And it was, we saw a glimpse of what Northern Illinois, when they put 4 quarters together, are capable of doing this year as a team.
They've got a tough road ahead. They face Holy Cross this week, then back-to-back Power 5 opponents at Maryland and at Mississippi State. Holst will take a knee here on first down as we take a look at their upcoming schedule. We said on the road,
timeout,
Maryland and
Holy
Mississippi
Cross.
State.
That is their third and final charge timeout of the second half. This will be a 13-second timeout.
Using their final timeout is Holy Cross. Then they're back here in DeKalb against San Diego State before they start MAC play against Miami of Ohio on October 4th. But some opportunities for some boneyard wins, as they called them. Last season they got one like we talked about against Notre Dame in week 2. An upset of the Fighting Irish. They've got a couple of those, multiple of those boneyard wins under that guy right there, Thomas Hammock.
Oh, he's the king of the boneyard win when it comes to the MAC. He's been great. One thing, Coach Hammock and Coach Kern as well, I can guarantee you from spending time talking to them, they don't have a problem getting their guys motivated, and it doesn't matter who the opponent is. When these 2 teams show up, they're going to show up and they're going to play physical and they're going to hit, and these kids are going to give it everything they have. And frankly, we just saw that in today's game from both teams.
Northern Illinois will take another knee as they are starting to just let this clock wind down. As we take a look at Holy Cross's schedule again, they're on the road next week against New Hampshire.
His alma mater. Coach Curran played at New Hampshire. But go ahead, Kelsey, I'm sorry.
Before facing Rhode Island and then at Yale and at Fordham. Lots of road games to start this season as handshakes start to happen here in DeKalb. What a great week 1 matchup between a solid FCS program in Holy Cross and Northern Illinois at home, getting the win here in week 1. And that'll do it. Final score, Northern Illinois 19, Holy Cross 17. Well, it was a slow start offensively in this game, Ryan. It was 6-3 at halftime. We only saw 3 field goals, but all the action started to kick off in the second half. And it was Northern Illinois who held on for the win.
Yeah, ultimately they made more explosive plays to put more points on the board. But it was a very good football game, very hard fought. I believe at the end I targeted this as one of the best FBS versus FCS games of this opening weekend. And I think we got it.
I think we did. A phenomenal matchup here in week 1 as college football is back and Northern Illinois gets the win at home. So for Ryan Kavanaugh, I am Kelsey Casper saying so long from Husky Stadium in DeKalb, Illinois, where the final score is Northern Illinois 19, Holy Cross 17. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.